Hello, welcome to another video of morning walks with Odin and me. Odin's here, just sniffing on his walk. We have changed time in Europe this Sunday, so I'm still a bit adjusting. I think I'm catching the last of the daylight, but hopefully we'll make it work. Yes, so what is the one thing you need to do to succeed in business? What do you think? It's taking action. And it sounds very obvious, and yet it is not, believe me. I spent the first many years of my business preparing a lot of things, working a lot behind the scene, but not actually taking action. So what I mean by taking action is doing some things that are actually visible by people who might hire you. My hair, sorry, I feel like a chicken. Look at that. I just washed my hair today. It's crazy mode. Anyway, so what I mean by action is something that makes you and your business more visible, because it's all well and good to prepare classes or work on a new project or update your website and all that, but it isn't directly related to increasing your clients' turnover, income, revenue, whatever. So action is different to motion. So it's a entrepreneurial concept. Action versus motion. So motion is when you are getting ready behind the scene, when you're learning a new skill to add to your toolbox, when you're doing branding, hiring people, setting up tech systems and all that. So that's great. You need some of it, but you cannot spend your whole time doing only motion activity. You need to be taking some action. And by action, once more, I mean just making yourself visible. So it might mean posting on social media. It might mean releasing a new video. It might mean reaching out to potential clients. Action is so very important because it's so easy to stay stuck into the thing of, oh, but I'm busy, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm updating that. But ultimately, these motion activities don't really influence your bottom line. So basically, they don't grow your business. So they're not a priority. You know, it's nice to have a fancy sales page with like pretty animated graphic and all that. But do you need it to sell your stuff? You actually don't. You can sell stuff off talking with people and a payment link, you know, sending an invoice, putting info on a Google Doc, which is something I quite like doing. So action is very, very important because it has a direct impact on your revenue, because obviously if you don't sell, it's harder to get a sell. Once more, very obvious, and yet it deserves to be said. And action also leads to clarity. So that has been drilled into me while I was doing my MSc in entrepreneurship and after working with different people. But if you want clarity in your business, if you want to ultimately succeed, you have to take action. You have to take messy action. You cannot wait for things to be perfect, because you will spend so much time on things that ultimately might not matter. Because, and I'm sure you've probably been in this case, and I certainly have, where you spend hours upon hours upon hours working on a new offer, a new product, something new. You get everything ready, you do all the pretty things, the tech thing, all the things, and then you finally make it visible and nothing happens. You hear crickets, like literally maybe like 1 or 2 likes on social media, but nobody reaches out, nobody cares, which is very sad. And of course, you know, like sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, you need to be talking more about it. It's not, you don't judge the success of something on like one post, of course, or one message. But sometimes it's just like there is just not a good product market fit. That's how we call it. Sometimes it's just, people are just, for whichever reason, people aren't interested and not buying, and that's fine, because when you put something out there in the world and it doesn't work, actually what you get is feedback. You find a way that things don't work at the minute, so that's great. That is information. Oh god, this light is so much better. So this is information that is going to be helpful for your business in the long run. So clarity comes from action, and I repeat it to my clients all the freaking time, because there is no need to be spending dozens of hours perfecting something when you could just be making a quick Facebook post being like, hey, I'm thinking of doing that, would you be interested? That's good enough. And I'm not, some people, and I know in like kind of traditional entrepreneurship, people will tell you to like test your offer in the market and do customer survey and blah blah. It's like, I don't really do that. I don't go to this extent, because that's not how I work. My energy is very different. I'm a manifestor in human design, and in general I cannot be bothered, because once something wants to come through, it wants to come through. It's not so much about the creating of the offer. So in my case, it would be like trainings or visualization or hypnosis or workbooks or whatever. It's really more like everything that goes around it, all the fluff. You can take action without all the fluff, and actually you have to, because when you focus on the 20% that matter in taking action on your project, the things that will have a real influence on your business, then you find out more quickly if it works or not. So that's not where I wanted to go with this sentence, but that's where we went. God, my hands are freezing. It's like, it's freezing. It's still, it's nice, it's light, it's spring and all that, but it's still very cold where I am. Oh, sorry. So, duck flying away. So, yes, focus on taking action, and it's something that I also sometimes need to be reminded, and I certainly remind myself about that. Because once more, it's easy to get caught up in all the details and all the prettiness and the fluff and all of that. Yes, Mrs. Duck agrees. But ultimately, it really is about finding out what works and what doesn't work as fast as possible. So your go-to-market strategy needs to be really, really as quick as can be. Just, putting a few things together, reaching out to a few people you think might be interested. That's what I mean by taking action, right? And you need to be doing these kind of things. And you'll have heard, like if you want massive results, you need to take massive action. I was thinking last week, about what taking massive action means. And I used to think it was taking one huge giant action that will make all the difference in my business forever. Dramatic and overwhelming. But now I do understand it as massive action is really, oh come on Eden, massive action really is taking a lot of seemingly small actions, and then they accumulate, and then you get more results because the results accumulate as well. Cumulative effect of actions, which mean that you might not be able to like go on the stage and talk about your new product, which would be like one massive action, which might happen, by the way, and might be the right idea for you. But if you're not there yet, if you don't want to do that, you might also just send a Facebook message, a message on Messenger to someone who might be interested by a latest product or offer. It can be very, very easy, and in fact, massive action is taking action that is small, that is a bit unsettling maybe for your nervous system, but that ultimately, when it is compounded, will lead to compounded big results. So At first, it sucks, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I posted about working with people one-on-one, having a few spots and everything, I was very like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I'm probably gonna die. People are gonna think and judge me and blah blah blah. And I mean, that happened in my head, but ultimately nothing really happened. And that's the thing, nothing really happened. So when you take massive action, most often than not, I was reflecting on that as well last week, not a lot happened, and it doesn't have to be this big, huge, overwhelming thing. It can be easy. It can be quick as well. Sending a message or sending an email, even if you want to be very, very careful about how you craft it, which you might want to do for the first few times, and then you know what to say, so it works. It takes you like 2 minutes. It might take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, but then it becomes easier and easier as you do it. And then you see if it works, you see what doesn't work. So basically, the summary of this video is take action. If you want better results, if you want bigger results in your business, you have to take more action. And action with the spirit of, this is all an experiment. Because ultimately, and that's why taking action is so important, you don't know what's going to work. You might have all these theories and strategies, and I certainly did, coming out of business school and having been in marketing for a few years, and I was like, well, this is what works. But it's not. If there was one fail-proof way to succeed, believe me, we'd know about it. But your way of succeeding is different than mine. And that's okay. But that also means that you will have to try a few things until it works. Once more, when I was doing my MSc, one of the things that we got told quite a few times is filling your way to success. And it's like you find so many ways it doesn't work until one day it works. You pivot and you shift things and all that. And that's the way you do business. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, if you're not willing to take action and flop, or don't hear anything, or hear something that's not quite what you expected, business is an experiment. You can't have all the answers right away. Even if you're very business savvy, it has nothing to do with business savvy. Being business savvy means listening to yourself, listening to the market, and trying to find the product market fit, like where both the offer and demand meet. But ultimately, it's really about being willing to be uncomfortable when you take action, when you feel like you don't know. So one thing I like to do every morning, or whenever I get to work, which might not be in the morning, is I write down, I have a three items to-do list. And before I do that, I really take some moment to ground and center myself, do my spiritual practice and all of that. And I usually will either say or write down on my notebook, knowing my success is inevitable, what do I want to be doing today? And then I write 3 things, and then I do them. And that's it. Like 3 per 3 per 3. And it's not even every day. I haven't done that today. Today I did some other stuff. But that's fine. Once more, it's just like I feel like this is very important, and I want to convey the importance of that. You can't know everything. You can't have all the answers. What works in theory doesn't necessarily work in practice. So the more able you are to experiment and to put like kind of your curiosity goggles on, see what works, see what doesn't. Change things a little, let's call it this way, the more you'll be seeing results in your business. That's it. That's the key to success. You fail your way to success, which doesn't feel quite right because it has a word failure, right? And we're all recovering perfectionists, and fear of failure is like, oh yeah, it's not good. But that's the way it is, action leads to clarity. So remember that. And if you'd like some help with that, finding what your next action could be based on where you're at and where you want to go, I have 2 proposals for you. One of them is to book a session with me to work one-on-one on your marketing, your business. I have marketing magic session in which we discuss everything that has to do with your marketing, your business, your way of showing up in the world and offering up your services to your ideal clients. These are usually 90 minutes. They come with a 30 minutes content review if you want me to review social media, landing page, etc. And then I have a new thing that's been cooking up, a membership where you can come and be held accountable toward taking action. So it's a private space for spiritual business owners to come and gather and share their concerns and celebrations and complaints and questions so you can find solution and move forward in business with a group of people who actually get it, you know. I will post a link to the details below so you can hear more about it. We are having our first call, I think, on April the 5th, which is next Wednesday, which is very exciting. So yeah, join us. It's a mix of coaching calls, a mix of different trainings on marketing, spirituality, subconscious work, and ongoing support from myself and from amazing people like you. So that's it. Action leads to clarity. That's it. That's what you have to remember. If something else came to mind during you watching this video, please let me know if you have any question. Basically, what's your number one takeaway from this video? It's helpful for the comments, so the algorithm works for me and more people can discover this video. It's also very interesting feedback because this way I know what to create more content on. Oh, no, don't go on the water. All right, I'm gonna put my hands back in my pockets now and I'll see you again later. Bye.